Rob Reiner's son is expected to plead not guilty at his upcoming hearing on January 7th. Plus, we have new footage within the hours of the murder occurring. We have a viral Strava employee that is making waves on the tickety talk for a bar brawl gone wrong. And Vanderpump Rules, they are trying so hard to shove this show down our throat. I'm convinced Jax Taylor is about to buy it a drink. I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome on in. Apologies, I've been having like tech issues all morning, and then the soundboard wasn't working as we were coming on in. But lots to get into, lots to dissect, break down. I'm sure it may even get a little spicy today. But in case you didn't catch it this morning, I'll be sure to upload a copy to Instagram and probably to YouTube too over the weekend. I was on Court TV this morning. It's my third appearance on Court TV this week. I'm very happy that they keep bringing me back. It's funny. I almost posted a thirst trap, and then I was like, this morning, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Like, maybe let me rebrand and not not show. What is it? VDL on Instagram. But yeah, lots get into. Be sure to stay tuned. I'll let you know when I will be appearing on Court TV next, or any other press. I also did Court Confidential this week as well. That was a really good discussion. I want to welcome you guys in, because I know a lot of people came from that the other day, and you were in the live chat, you were in the comments, you're like, I'm from Court Confidential. So I'm glad that you guys are interested in this Rob Reiner case, because we have a lot of the news from that we're going to be breaking down today. But I'm not going to be doing it alone. Please welcome on in two of your favorites who I know you love, and I love to tease and pick on and troll every day of my life. Please welcome Donna Bowling and Chef Stu O'Keefe.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
How are you?
I love how we're introduced as the people you love to troll.
Yeah,
I do. Well, I'm always trolling in your comments. What did I say to you? Oh, that you hate lesbians because you're mad at Kyle Richards.
Oh my God. In fact, I love a lesbian, and I wish Kyle Richards would just openly become one.
Yeah, I thought she's openly bi, right? She likes Brad and Angelina.
I just think she's bisexual, and she doesn't want to put a label on it. And like, I think that's really it.
Oh my God, we're not putting. Stu, shut up. We're not doing that. We're not putting labels on things. Like, listen, you're gay, you're straight, you're bi.
Literally every single Gen Z? Like, who's the young kids now? What is my kid? My 13-year-old. What are they?
Gen Z.
Who knows?
They're Gen Z?
Yeah.
13-year-olds are Gen Z. They all want labels. Like, everyone wants a label. So Kyle doesn't want a label.
But like,
does your child have a label?
They all have they have too many labels.
That's the thing.
I would like them to have less labels.
Everybody needs like a sub-fraction of a label. Like, we can't just be, like, everybody has to have like 3 different labels. Like, who was the one? Mia Shachter?
What's the new
Remember
lesbian
Mia
label?
Shachter? Oh,
yeah,
Sapphic.
the intimacy coordinator.
Sapphic. Stu, do you know what Sapphic is?
No.
Sapphic is a woman that identifies as a woman that likes other women.
So Kyle could be a Sapphic.
That's a lesbian, basically. Kyle would technically be a Sapphic. But they were. Yeah, no, I've gone down that rabbit hole too many times.
Who did I hear from someone over the weekend saying that like LGB want to remove those letters from the rest of the stuff?
The rest of the alphabet, yeah.
Stu, are you ready to? You could potentially get canceled today, though, if we go down this road.
No, we're not going down the road. I was just saying,
well, there's an argument that lesbian, bi, and gay are sexual orientations, so therefore trans or all of these other additional letters like two-spirit and there's trans, two-spirit, queer.
Two-spirit?
Two-spirit is the new one.
I thought that was a cigarette.
Well, it may be a cigarette, but it's also now
it's American Spirit. That's what
LGBTQIA2+. The number 2 and then plus.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
But so that's the divorce, Stu, is that there's L, G, and B, which are sexual orientations. You're lesbian, you're gay, or you're bi. And then there's all these other like identifying terms that could just be identifying terms that are not specific to your sexual orientation. They're specific to your gender identity.
Isn't that what's his name said on the Skinny Confidential? It's not James Charles. It's the other guy.
Jeffree Star.
Jeffree Star. He said we should separate them because a couple of them are your gender. No.
Yeah.
Gender and a few of them are sexual. Okay, whatever. We can get into this another time. We should ask Kyle. She should know. You guys,
Kyle
I just realized
Kyle might be two-spirit.
She is a true spirit. I just realized I'm holding my Alan Jackson mug, but this is when he was Karen Reed Alan Jackson.
Oh, do you like this new Alan Jackson or you're not a fan?
Well, listen, I'm really struggling. This is a real struggle for me to reconcile my favorite attorney representing Nick Reiner. This is going to be a toughie.
Well, okay, so here are the latest updates that have come out. I mean, every day it's a plethora of new updates. So Stuart, take notes. So Rob Reiner was reportedly talking about the strained relationship that he and Michelle have had with their son, Nick. Nick, as we know, was living in their guest house, but now it appears he was also in and out of a facility that they were paying for as well. But so at Conan O'Brien's party, there's a new source that has come out that says that Rob expressed concerns and that he was petrified of his son, Nick. He was petrified. Well, it's interesting that these headlines are now starting to come out as, you know, we're waiting to hear what Alan Jackson's theory is going to be. It kind of feels like they're starting to lay down some of the groundwork, because that was the first headline, was that Rob was petrified of Nick, and they were worried and scared of what he may have been capable of doing because his behavior had become more erratic as the weeks went on. People were assuming maybe he had fallen off the wagon. So it's now come out that he's been at this new facility. We have new footage of him that shows him, it appears to be around, I mean, it's in the middle of the night, and it's unclear of when the actual murder was committed, because we know he checked into the Santa Monica hotel around 4 a.m. The parents weren't found until 4-ish p.m. on Sunday. So it appears it happened sometime before 4 a.m. because now the latest reports are that he checked into the hotel. He seemed a little tweaker-ish, I think is how it was described. Like he was kind of tweaking out. When he checked into the hotel, he used his own credit card to pay for it. It was $400 a night. It was the Pier Side in Santa Monica that he checked into about 4 a.m. And that was after he's believed to have committed the murders. So we do have new footage of that.
Okay.
Yes, it happened sometime before 4 a.m. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Because I thought there was reports at the beginning that it was in the afternoon or something that it could have happened, but no, they think now it's nighttime.
They found the bodies. Yeah, they found the bodies at 3, and at that point, the bodies had already experienced rigor mortis, so the bodies were already hardening, which means they had been there for several hours. They were in bed, which I would think, you know, you're not going to be in bed at like noon, 1, 2 in the afternoon.
No, you're right.
Especially them being older, I would assume this happened very early in the morning. But so it appears he may have come back to the house with them and then left the house or was at the house with them, maybe in the guest house after they got into the fight at Conan O'Brien's house, and then somehow decided when they were in bed, presumably asleep, is when he was going to go in and commit these murders. But so now the latest report, right before we came on to taping, TMZ is coming out and saying that not only has he been diagnosed with schizophrenia, but at this facility, they were administering new medications to kind of balance him out because his behavior had become erratic, and the change and shift of medication was only making him worse, angrier, more erratic, therefore really disrupting his mental state, which to me now, I know Megyn Kelly came out a couple of days ago and she was her conjecture was that, because I think that was the source that came out to the press, saying that there was possibly some abuse that Rob had committed towards Nick as a child, and that's what made this strained resentment relationship, and also what could have pushed Nick towards drugs and alcohol. And so, but now it appears that they're going with this schizophrenia diagnosis and possibly going to blame the facility for giving him meds that made him capable of murdering his parents.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a really, okay, so the schizophrenia diagnosis was not really a shock because this had been kind of trickling around even the morning of the murders, being like the morning after when he was arrested. Everyone had kind of had heard this theory that he had been diagnosed with schizophrenia. A lot of times, mental illness, drug addiction, it does kind of surround this schizophrenia diagnosis. I personally do not have a lot of experience with schizophrenia. I don't have schizophrenia in my family. Knock on wood, no one in my family is diagnosed with that. I know it. So I do have some dosers in my DMs who do have schizophrenia in their family and who have sons specifically who have been diagnosed with schizophrenia. It does come on in adolescence. It doesn't come on at birth. Like that is the one thing about schizophrenia. It's a really, really tricky diagnosis because it's like you're born okay, and then later on in life, usually I think it comes on around late teens is what I'm pretty sure. Now, schizophrenia does not make you a murderer.
Right.
Okay. Mental illness does not make you a murderer. And drug addiction does not make you a murderer.
No.
So none of these three things can be to blame.
No.
A mix of the three.
I think
and
they can
medication.
I think they may could you say like it might ease the decision to go do something? You know what I mean? If you had this like feeling or like this hate
it
or
can
something
cloud
like that,
your judgment.
Does that like push you over the edge having one of these mental states or whatever?
So now the theory that everyone's assuming Alan Jackson, because people were kind of questioning like, well, what could he possibly do? Also to clarify, it wasn't Megyn Kelly's theory, because I see people dragging Megyn Kelly into the live chat. It wasn't her theory of abuse. There was a family friend that had spoken out that kind of inferred that there was possibly some sort of abuse, and Megyn Kelly in, looking at the possible theories that could legally be presented, because she is or was I think she is still an attorney. She's just not practicing. Now she's fully pivoted into media commentary. But I think Alan's probably going to present this theory. We know that the hearing has been pushed back until January. And listen, he's had a questionable roster from Harvey Weinstein to Karen Reed. Don, I knew you were a big fan of his during the Karen Reed trial. What are your thoughts on him taking this case on now?
Okay, so I really struggled. Imagine like I looked to Alan Jackson as like my boyfriend during the Karen Reed trial. He was everything. He was a hero in my eyes. It was the first trial in a long time that I really glommed onto. I was watching live every single day, and he to me was a stud. But I also really believed that Karen Reed was not guilty. So I had faith in his client. I felt like she was innocent, and I was rooting for him. This throws me off because he is a defense attorney. He's a criminal defense attorney. So most likely he's going to defend a lot of people who are innocent, but also many guilty criminals as well. He's trying to give them the best defense possible. That's his job. I've been schooled by a lot of people since I kind of came out swinging, really upset about it, especially my friend who is a public defender, who said, this is how the justice system works. You need this. You need the best criminal defense attorneys, because if not, judges just say like, you're going to prison for life. You're going this, your death penalty. You need someone to kind of for balances, for checks and balances. And he's very expensive. He's about $2,000 to $3,000 an hour. So that's very confusing too. How in the world is Nick Reiner affording him? That's another question. Who's paying for him? Is it the family? Does he have money in a trust? Is he putting up the assets from his parents? Are his dead parents that he murdered paying for his defense? And then the last, theory is his parents were very, very, very liberal. It's a very obvious known thing. They were obviously very progressive. They would have been very against the death penalty. They were against the death penalty.
Yeah.
Would they have fought really hard for Nick to not get the death penalty, even though he murdered them? Like, this is such a F. Like, it's such a mental F.
They're dead, so
you're right. But it's like, this is what Billy Bush's theory was the other day. Even if they had words now, even in like as they're dead, obviously, but if they had words, would they still fight for the best defense for their own kid that murdered them? It's so hard to think about.
I think they would. I think they would fight for him, knowing his. I mean, look at how hard they fought for him in life. You know, they tried to do everything that they possibly could to shield him, protect him, care for him, coddle him, you know, tough love situations at time. We know that he was battling homelessness a couple of times. So I think they would have fought for him. I think they would have wanted to give him the best possible attorney. I would imagine maybe they had a history with Alan Jackson, being that he does represent criminal cases. They have a lot of money. So we know that he's likely had a number of run-ins with the law in the past. And when your parents have money and they can afford somebody like Alan Jackson to come in and take care of him, I don't think Nick hired Alan Jackson directly, only because his state of mind appears to be very clouded. So somebody else had to have made that call. I do believe Nick has money from his grandparents, and it's possible that maybe there's some estate money that is being used to help defend him as well. We don't know if there's a clause in the will that says, hey, if we were to ever pass, God forbid, let's make sure that we have an attorney to make sure our kids are taken care of and covered. Obviously, these circumstances could not have been predicted, but I would imagine, especially when it comes to Nick, like when as parents, I would imagine when you're putting your will together, you know what kids are going to be responsible for certain things and what kids are going to need a little more help and what clauses you need to put in place to make sure certain kids are protected. You know, when it comes to like my brother or my mom, like there are certain provisions that are in place for each of us that are very different. You know, Ethan has a very different set of circumstances. You want to make sure that he's taken care of, and you want to make sure that any money that's left to him is put in a trust or put under some sort of conservatorship or under some sort of monitoring. So, I mean, we also have to realize these are very wealthy people. They're in Hollywood. I would imagine there's a business manager. There's someone that's overseeing their finances and business dealings, that's overseeing their legal dealings, that they were likely the person that made the call, that reached out to Alan Jackson to take care of Nick. I have a hard time thinking it was Romy. It could have possibly been Jake, the older brother. I don't know. Somebody hired Alan, and I don't think that it was Nick.
Yeah.
Finally, there is this thing that I've just learned about. I didn't even know, it's called the Slayer statute. Have you heard about this?
No.
In California?
I seen like slay to kill someone.
Yeah, well, it basically means
Figuratively.
means that if you God, it means basically that if you are the reason for the demise of the person whose will you're a beneficiary of, you could be deleted from that will. If you kill your husband, you're not going to be a beneficiary from that.
For sure. Yeah. That's like,
not if you do it not in your right mind. I think that's why they're leaning on this not guilty by reason of insanity, because if they can prove that he wasn't in his right mind and it wasn't his fault because the facility is the one that mismanaged his medication, then he's then not at fault. And if he's not at fault, then he can then, I mean, and that could be Alan Jackson's key to being like, this is how I get paid. You know, if he can prove that and he can get that done, because think about it, the jury's going to have to decide whether or not he was of sound mind and whether or not there was malice behind this murder. I mean, we also have Nathan Hochman, who's charging him with first degree murder. And that does show that there was premeditation and intent. And I feel like there's some wiggle room with that, the Slayer statute. Obviously, they do that to prevent situations like the Menendez brothers, where you can murder your parents and then inherit all of their assets if you are the person that does that, because then that would speak to motivation and malice. In this case, I think that's why they're going this route, so that he could then potentially still have access to his inheritance if they're able to prove that he wasn't in his right mind in doing that.
Either way, I don't believe this kid is going to walk free no matter what.
No, he's not. There's no way. I mean, if anything, and somebody was asking, does that mean he won't serve any jail time? He will likely be behind bars until the end of his trial, but also
and beyond.
Well, yes, he's not getting out at this point, but he may likely not face any additional prison time. If he is found not guilty by reason of insanity, he'll likely end up being a ward of the state and getting put into a mental facility. He's not going free. This is what Tom Girardi was fighting for when they were trying to say that these are different types of crimes, but they were trying to say that Tom Girardi was incompetent to stand trial and incompetent to answer for his crimes. And so therefore he should be put in a mental facility or an elderly care facility rather than prison time. I assume that's what they're going to be arguing for Nick as well, is that he gets put in a facility rather than behind bars in prison.
It's so devastating all throughout.
Yeah.
We also don't even know what evidence they have still. We don't know what kind of camera
I
footage,
imagine
security
the evidence
footage.
is overwhelming.
I don't think this guy was of the right mind that he was able to clean all his blood from the scene, his DNA.
I mean, it's definitely him, right? Like, there's no doubt.
There's no other
There's
suspects.
No
There's no one else.
I mean,
it's 100%.
You also have to imagine there's going to be, GPS locations on his phone. I'm presuming
security cameras
on the property. Yeah. I mean, if every average Joe has a Ring camera on their front door, you're going to tell me the Reiners, who had a gated community home, is not
in Los Angeles, in crime-ridden Brentwood.
Yeah. So I would imagine there's security cameras that caught something on camera.
It's true. What are you like under a bubble?
We just saw Sutton and Kathy Hilton get broken into while they were at BravoCon.
Every nice neighborhood in Los Angeles gets broken into every night.
She lives off the main road.
Yeah.
No, Los Angeles is
on the main road.
I mean, come on, Stu. You're not in a bubble. Los Angeles gets broken into.
No, of course.
They haven't been buried yet. Donna, maybe you can speak to this. Per their religion, like I believe they're Jewish, and they wanted to be, there's I guess you're buried within the first 24 hours. You're buried the next day after you're killed, but unfortunately they're not able to, because they had to, like, the coroner had to review everything and determine a cause of death, and there had to be like
in the Jewish religion, and I'm gonna get some of this wrong because I'm not a super like to the book religious person when it comes to the religion, especially when it comes to death rules. But I know with the Jewish religion, you really like to bury within 48 hours usually.
Yeah. Same as Catholic. Yeah.
Oh, really? But with the Jewish religion, I do know that they like to make sure that your body is as much intact as possible. Clearly, their bodies were, I just don't want to be graphic, but you can imagine
not intact,
in very, very bad shape. It's just horrific to think about. But they did need, I mean, it was a murder. It was a murder scene.
Yeah.
They needed a medical examiner. They needed coroners. They needed autopsies, etc. I mean, it was a crime scene. So I'm sure that delayed the process. Now, I did read somewhere that there was like a private memorial service somehow. So I don't know, at Billy Crystal's house of some sort, which is crazy that they did that on Monday.
It wasn't Billy Crystal. It was the other guy. It was Albert Brooks. Yes. He's the one that hosted
my favorite, Defending Your Life. Oh my God. Best movie ever with Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks, you guys. One of the best movies if you want to do like a Rob Reiner like marathon this weekend and you want to watch his movies. Seriously, just watch some of Rob Reiner's movies. When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, like truly the best movies this man was behind. That would be a great like Christmas movie marathon choice, is do a Rob Reiner. And The Story of Us, like he's behind some of the best movies.
Mm-hmm.
So sad.
Misery.
He is? I don't know.
Sorry, Rob Reiner was Misery. Yeah.
Oh God, never mind. I don't want to put that in my happy movie.
I love Misery. That's one of my favorite movies.
Well, doesn't that explain so much?
Yeah.
And yesterday you do a reel how you're not on any pills, not on any drugs, that you're so happy, and you're saying you love Misery.
It's like a good thriller.
Okay. Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. Okay. Any closing thoughts on Reiner before we move on to the next story?
Just a tragic story all around.
No, just wait and see.
I know. The next update will come. I mean, I'm sure we'll get updates between now and then, but we have the hearing that is happening on January 7th. We'll see. We also have Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni that are currently in settlement negotiations. They will likely not be settling, and they have their next hearing January 22nd. So January will be a big month for us. January 22nd is when the judge will decide whether or not Blake Lively's case will be moving forward in full, in part, or dismissed altogether. This is where he'll hear.
Can Alan Jackson represent Justin Baldoni? Like, can we get some sort of drama with that? I'm so, compared to the Rob Reiner tragedy, when I hear Blake Lively, I just want to look at her and be like, how could you? How could you? take
Backing up our
advantage of the legal
system.
system
Yeah.
for this bullshit.
Truly.
It feels so stupid.
It is so stupid.
It feels like such a waste of our lives after all of this.
Move it along.
I know. She's insufferable. And
wait, by the way, can I say something about Stu's hat really fast?
His beanie.
It's a beanie.
You look like you're uncircumcised.
You do look like a mushroom.
Okay. I
Okay.
don't do my hair yet. It's just like.
Can I say something? So last night I was watching the Counting Crows documentary. It's on HBO. I love Counting Crows. I'm such a typical Counting Crows girl, like white girl from the 90s, right? I was born in 81. So nothing like listening to August and Everything after, smoking a cigarette in my Jetta when I was 16 years old, driving on Sunset Boulevard. Are you okay over there, Zach?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I was
checking your back. Okay. Are you okay? Anyway, so last night on the Counting Crows documentary, he's saying that the first time he performed at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he was wearing a beanie like yours and it kept falling and he was like messing around with it the entire time. And you're cosplaying as Counting Crows right now.
Okay. What's the main Durst? What's the
Adam Duritz?
Adam Duritz, yeah.
He dated Jennifer Aniston. Or Courtney Cox. I can't remember, one of them. Anyway, side note, keep going back.
Fun fact. Okay. Well, speaking of erratic people, like Blake Lively, we have this woman that worked at Strava that just got fired because she was acting a little cuckoo crazy. But before that, I wanted to let you guys know that the holiday season is here. And if you're looking for a gift that is going to warm your loved one's heart, then I recommend Storyworth Memoirs. Okay. It might sound a little intimidating, but it's actually really easy. And I know they're going to love it. It's a gift that they won't see coming because it's something that makes them feel like you actually put thought into your gift. It's not just a gift card. And in turn, it's kind of like a gift for you too. So every week, Storyworth emails your loved ones a memory-provoking question. You get to choose what it is. Anything from what was your favorite toy as a child? What are you most proud of? Then all your loved one has to do is respond to that email with the story. They can either write it via email or they can record it on their phone and Storyworth will transcribe it. It's super easy, no apps, no passwords. So it's perfect for even your least tech savvy relatives. And then after a year, Storyworth compiles all of your loved one's stories and photos that you send in into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book. I already have a few family members that I'm thinking of getting it for. I mean, my grandpa, I think, would really appreciate something like this. And then it's also kind of like a gift for all the grandkids and future generations so that we can preserve those memories and keep his legacy alive. So give your loved ones a unique keepsake that you'll all cherish for years to come. Storyworth Memoirs. Right now, save $10 or more during their holiday sale when you go to storyworth.com/nofilter. That's storyworth.com/nofilter to save $10 or more on your order. Go stock up and make sure you preserve those memories. And then also, if you're looking to maybe have a little fun this holiday season, we know that it can get a little stressful with all the endless shopping, the traveling, the parties every weekend. When I need to slow down and help my mind actually relax, I'd like to reach for my Soul's Out of Office gummies. It's the perfect balance of CBD and THC to help me find my calm and my peace of mind. And even better, it's low in calories and there's zero hangover because we know there's lots of holiday cocktails going on. Soul is a wellness brand that delivers feeling good and fun with ease. Soul specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies, I've got them right here, were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance creativity and relaxation. With 5 different strengths, you can tailor the dose to fit your vibe, from a gentle 1.5 microdose to their newest 15 milligram gummy for an even more elevated experience. I love my blue raspberry, my gummies right here. These are only 3 milligrams. So it's like that perfect dose. It's not quite a microdose. It's just a little bit more. And it helps just take the edge off for me. Bring on the holiday cheer and treat yourself or someone you love to Soul this holiday season. Right now, Soul is offering my audience, that's you listening or watching right now, 30% off your entire order. Just go to Get Soul. That's Get Soul, SOUL, getsoul.com and use the code NOFILTER. That's getsoul.com, promo code NOFILTER for 30% off. And also, listen, we know that with the holiday season, there's also going to be tons of pictures, right? It's here. There's parties, family gatherings, lots of selfies and photos with the family that you're probably going to be taking, but you don't have time to stress about feeling your best and then spend hours in front of the mirror getting ready too. Merit Beauty has you covered so that you can focus on enjoying this holiday season and not stress over your makeup routine. Merit is a minimalist beauty brand that makes elevated makeup and skincare designed to help you look put together in minutes. While some people have their 12-step makeup routines or 12-step skincare routines, Merit Beauty helps simplify all of that. And listen, their bestsellers are really proof that less is more. The Flush Bomb gives you that nice, natural, healthy glow without overdoing it. One of my personal favorites is Merit's Great Skin Serum. It's literally all you need. It instantly hydrates and plumps for a fresh and dewy look. I like to put it on before bed so that I wake up refreshed in the morning. It's time for your makeup and skincare to meet the reality of your daily routine with Merit Beauty. Right now, Merit Beauty is offering our listeners their signature makeup bag with your first order at meritbeauty.com. That's Merit, MERIT, beauty.com to get your free signature makeup bag with your first order. meritbeauty.com. All right, let's get back to it because there is this employee from Strava. We need to play this video. I'm hoping you've both seen it, but we'll play it for the audience. Yeah. You've seen, but have you seen the full clip? Because TMZ
I can never
had
find
all
it when I go look for it.
How can you? So TMZ was able to get, I guess, multiple different angles. Oh wait, Isaac says, "Do you guys like The View? You can
Can you guys do a show like
Zack
The View?
Zack can be Whoopi, Stu can be Sarah Hines, Donna, you can be Joy or Sunny. Oh my God, Sunny, that's like the worst.
Why do I get Joy or Sunny? The
Jewish.
Worst too. Come on, I get Joy Behar.
Whoopi's pretty bad.
Sunny.
Yeah. So what?
Sunny is the
and
worst.
You get Whoopi, who's also bad. Like I
just love that they gave Stu the Republican, Sarah Haynes. Stu, who's like the least Republican you'll ever. Well, she's she's conservative.
You got the black woman. Sassy.
And I got the mean one.
You got the Jew. It's just like, that fits.
Okay, here's the full clip of this woman. So she was at this bar. It's like a pizza bar. Okay. It's a restaurant in San Francisco. She's there and she gets into some sort of altercation with the bartender because I guess she got really drunk and was becoming obnoxious. This happened at Patsy's Pizza in San Francisco. The woman's name is Shireen Afkari. And so when the video comes in, you're going to see her getting asked to leave, but she's arguing with the bartender before she starts getting into multiple fights with different people throughout her exit of this pizza bar. But here's the full video from different angles. Let's watch. So here she gets her phone out. Blurry.
Love her energy.
So she
can't
has her
stand her.
She's filming him and she's like yelling. She's already slurring. She's raising her voice. You can tell she's annoying.
Tell me one more time.
I did not touch it.
Oh, he's a liar.
I just tried to.
She's her dumb boyfriend.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend's like kind of trying to, he's trying to like rally her out, but he's like being very passive about it.
He's like drunk.
No, he should have just been like, bitch, let's get the fuck out of here.
I don't think he's trying to finish it.
Well, look at his arm. He's like he has his arm around her and then she walks, but he doesn't really like stop her. Like he's kind of just like allowing her to make her spectacle.
I think she's on the ballet Persian style.
What is she doing? What did he do?
So his boyfriend's walking her out.
Oh my God. She hit me.
So then someone's filmed this. So as she's, filming the bartender, somebody else standing at the bar is filming her. And when she notices that she's being filmed, she then smacks the phone out of his hand. So now we're going to see it from the other angle where you see her slap this phone out of this gentleman's hand. There she is at the bar, making her
citizen journalist.
Oh, and then she notices the guy filming, and then she smacks it out of his hands.
She is. boyfriend needs to leave.
Wait,
Then
what
she
happened?
runs. She then bumps into another woman, and the woman was having none of it. The second she bumps into that woman, the woman just kick drops her.
Was she a employee?
I think she was an employee. Yeah. And then she wants to fight her, so she gets back up and tries to get in the woman's face, and then that's when other patrons at the bar are like, all right, we need to get this woman out of here. She's fighting, she's swinging. Boyfriend now starts to insert himself to get people off of her. She goes chasing after the woman. And then a few gentlemen grab him. They are dragging him out of the bar. They have him in a headlock.
Pizzas, where's that? It's that.
Then everybody claps as they get kicked out. The original bartender that she was fighting with is the one that now has her by the shoulders and is taking her out of the bar. And then as he's trying to get her out, and she's fighting the whole way through, the bar claps as they all get out. Look, he's like, all right, you need to calm down. He's trying to detain her. They're trying to get her away.
She's
and
still fighting her ass off.
She's fighting, and then she grabs his hair because he has like long hair. So she grabs his hair and she
Ariana's boyfriend.
Yep. She's smart. And we get the next angle, and you can see it's a close up. And so she has his hair in her hand as she's pulling him, and she won't let go. And everyone around her is yelling at her, "Let him go!"
Hey, let go! Let go! Let go! Let go! Right now! Let go! Let go! Let go! Let go! Let go! Right now! Let go! Let go! Let go! Let go!
Just holding on to him for dear life.
Let go!
But also, they're pulling her away, and she won't let go. So as they pull her, she's just pulling him by the hair down the street.
Let go!
Oh,
Ow!
No, let go right now, please. Yes, let go.
That looks painful. She's holding on hard.
I'm not touching your boy.
Okay, stop.
No, he's on this phone.
She's like, I'm not touching your boy, as she had his full head of hair in her hand. And so then it looks like she says something about you let him go, or you took my phone, which prompts
something
her to chase after.
Yeah,
it sounds like she says he took my phone, and then she starts chasing after him. Watch this part. This is the best part.
No.
Hey.
She runs towards him, and then he trips her. He says that it was an accident, but it kind of looks like he kicked her
I
leg.
almost want to
And
see that part again. Can you rewind her? No, you're not capable.
Face plants into the concrete. Look at this.
I mean, that is just immediate,
frame by frame. Boom,
and then
boom,
she cries.
boom.
I mean, that's just immediate karma. Immediate.
Okay, stop.
No, he's on this phone.
No.
Oh God.
Hey.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh,
He totally
Out
kicked
there,
his
you
leg
can
out.
Touching your boy.
Okay, stop.
I want to see her face.
No.
Hey.
she just fully face plants into the concrete. That didn't look like an accident. Like, you can clearly see
He puts his foot
kicked
out,
his
but
leg
it's
out
good.
to kick her, which at this point is what she
He's
deserves.
defending himself at this point.
Yeah,
He
And so
needs to.
She face plants into the ground, and then it just continues to get better. He disengages and walks away, and she just is on the floor crying. Then her boyfriend
Oh my
runs
God,
over.
he's so drunk.
They're all drunk. Yeah. She lost the war.
Stop.
No, she's not with him.
Now it
He
seems
needs
like
to
she's
leave
getting
her.
mad at the boyfriend. The boyfriend's trying to help her up,
It's
and
your
it looks
fault.
like it looks like she's mad at him for allowing this to happen when she's literally the one causing this entire scene.
Guys.
But then wait, what? She gets mad at him, walks off.
No, stop.
It's wild.
And then out
Oh,
of
God,
nowhere,
why?
he then
I can't.
decides to push this random guy.
Santa.
And he like suddenly is like, I'm gonna push, like,
I'm standing
now
up for
he
my
decides
woman.
to fight.
The
Now
two of
that
them
she's
are
already
promising
been
each other.
face slammed.
I can't.
Fuck
He said
outta
the
here,
blind
dude.
leading the fucking blind. My God.
Wild. And this was like on a Monday night. So it wasn't even
exciting.
this was like a Monday, Tuesday, let's go out
Holiday
and have a drink.
weekends. Isn't this just like a typical West Hollywood night, Stu, at the
It
Abbey?
kind of is. Like, so I mean, I've seen a few videos recently. There's a few like gays out there, like, like just throwing down outside Mickey's.
This is what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm home before that shit happens. I don't stay out late anymore, but I don't. Fuck you. And so no, I've seen like 1 or 2 videos recently in the last 3 weeks, like altercations, like on like cell phone.
I wish this fight. Can you imagine this fight with like 2 really, really like gay? Like, I wish this happened between like what would have been the drama if this was at a gay bar? Like, what would have looked like?
They'd throw like slaps. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, for sure.
It would have been super messy. So it's now come out that she worked for Strava, and she has since been fired by the company. And she is now
and Strava.
Just trying
I
to
asked a million times. It's like a bicycle app.
No, it's a running app. So it's for runners. Yeah. So you track your routes. Yeah, she ran all right. She ran right into the concrete face plant. And so, but it's to track like your miles. And so you can share your like routes with other runners, and you can share your run time and all of that stuff. So you can connect with other runners.
First of all, I'm laughing at Donna. I'm laughing at Donna's comment. And then Donna lifts up her mug and like I can't see her face. Like it's bigger than her head.
Her Ellen Jackson mug. It's so
she's
big.
like, you can follow my run. You can follow the drunk run this way. So what happens if you're a woman like Shireen Afghan or whatever her name is, or Afghari or whatever, and this is your namesake, like Kristen Cabot, the CEO HR Coldplay girl. This is like what happens. You live your whole life building your career. You become these executives. You work for these great companies, and you have a drunk ass night because Kristen Cabot, the CEO, the Coldplay girl, is blaming it on a couple of high noons. Like these people always like to say, oh, I was drunk and this happens. But these things happen and ruin your lives. Now everyone has phones wherever you go, unless you're a shooter at Brown University, then there's no cameras. But everywhere else, there's always cameras wherever you go. So
everywhere, iPhone, security cameras, everything.
These nights ruin your life. You work your entire life. You have one drunk night that can ruin everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's wild.
It really can. It is.
Yeah. And now, but that was like the Coldplay couple. She now spoke out, and she was just like, "Oh, I just had one too many high noons, and I made mistakes, and I want my kids to know that you can make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that people can be mean to you on the internet for making mistakes." She had everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody sleeps with their boss, and everybody gets fired after.
What would be the worst night that you can think of if there was a camera following you? Like I can think of one night in the last like 3 years, if a camera was following me, I'm sure it would be really bad.
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of nights.
That's why I take an Uber everywhere I go. Cause I'm like, can you imagine that I get a DUI, God forbid. And it's like all over the next day, daily dose of Donna got a DUI. Like those kinds of things scare me so.
All your doozers would be so pissed with you.
Who's doozers?
Dosers. I'm joking. Donna, I have a question.
He didn't know my name. He didn't know my name. Did you hear that?
I actually like anytime I text Zach now, I say DONNA. And like, because I just know, like, I'm like saying, but I'm saying it right. That's all that matters.
Okay, stop.
True professional.
What's up, stars?
Go ahead, Zach.
No, I was going to move on to Vanderpump Rules.
Go.
Oh, speaking of idiots.
Well, they think that we're idiots.
Why? So None of us watching it. Like, what do we have to talk about it? Nobody's watching it.
I've not seen 1 minute of it.
Oh, wait, Stu, did you ever watch it at all?
I watched.
You saw the
25 minutes. 25 minutes of the first episode.
Look at Enrique's comment. Internet mean girl Donna Bowling arrested with a DUI. TMZ reports.
All over Reddit. I knew it. I saw her. She's crazy. She's a drunk. She's this.
I knew her when she was just mean.
It's Jewish firecracker.
So this was published. They're claiming that the Vanderpump Rules reboot is the biggest new Bravo show launch of the year.
LOL.
Of the year. They said just got the good news that Vanderpump Rules is thriving. The season 12 premiere reached 2.6 million viewers across platforms, making it bigger than all new series in 2025. Congrats to our incredible cast and crew. Now, you would think, wow, Bravo's releasing this, right? Nope. This is Sir Restaurant and Guillermo and their PR team that put together this collab post on Instagram. At this point, they're begging to get fucking trolled. I went back into my little cave and I wasn't going to talk about it anymore because I was over the fucking show. And like now they're just playing in our face and they are begging for us to tear this show apart. The show is so bad. Nobody is watching it. And I'm sorry, but nobody is going to sit there and believe that, Guillermo and Sir Restaurant are the two that are going to, be the ones to make this groundbreaking announcement. Yeah. And also, what is it? 2.6 million viewers. Vanderpump Rules was doing that in live views alone just a couple of seasons ago. It was doing just fine. Didn't Zack say that the show had bad ratings? The show absolutely did have bad ratings. It was getting less viewers than Watch What Happens Live in its premiere week, which leads me to believe that they're able to pull this number together because you also have 11 seasons that are of Vanderpump Rules that are currently streaming on Peacock as well. So if you want to say Vanderpump Rules was the most streamed show that day, you're probably factoring in all the other episodes that people were watching that day.
I have an announcement.
Yes.
Okay, actually, I have a thought. Ding, ding. Okay, so think about its wording. But biggest new show launch on Bravo this year. So let's think about this. What new Bravo shows launched on Bravo this year? Was Next Gen this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's the only newest Bravo show that launched this year.
Yeah, just like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why would Vanderpump Rules actually do better than Next Gen? Why? Because my DVR recorded Vanderpump Rules because it's already listed.
Automatically. So here are the shows. These are the shows that premiered on Bravo this year.
Okay.
Denise Richards and Her Wild Things. Love Hotel.
That did not premiere in 2025.
Yeah. Denise Richards premiered on March 4th, 2025. Love Hotel premiered on April 27th, 2025. Next Gen premiered on June 3rd, 2025. Surviving Mormonism premiered on November 11th. And then
that didn't do well.
And then there was BravoCon.
Okay, so this 100% tracks. So many of us already had this on our DVRs and recorded it, but we didn't watch it. With that, it still marks as a rating.
Does it? Well, and not only that, but think about it. If
I think you have to watch it.
Anybody watched Vanderpump Rules that day? Think of how many people did a marathon watch of the older episodes leading up to the new season. Or like Stu, so many people tuned in and watched the first 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes at best. So you have to factor in, how long did they actually watch? Were they? I mean, the chatter on it was either completely nobody talked about it. It wasn't trending online at all. It didn't make any major headlines from press that wasn't basically, asked to give good coverage of the show. Even the people on social media that were raving about it were the influencers that were invited to the party at SUR, where they were given free food and free drinks, essentially to pimp out the show. So you have to take their reviews with a grain of salt, because they're not going to speak negatively about the show when they're getting to take selfies with Lisa Vanderpump and getting to drink at her open bar. So, you have to factor in all those. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody talked about it favorably. And then most people said that even though they watched it to give it a try, nobody made it through the full episode. A small fraction made it to episode 2, and an even smaller fraction is going to tune in for episode 3.
It's no way it's thriving. There's just fucking no way.
It didn't even get 300,000. It got 299 or 290,000 views in its premiere episode on Bravo, which again was lower than Watch What Happens Live that week, lower than every other show on Bravo that week. And then the following week, number 2, the episode 2 got, I think, 230,000 views. So it was losing viewership. Whereas Beverly Hills, because everybody wants to say that live views don't matter, Beverly Hills, even though ratings are a bit down for Beverly Hills, every week they've gotten higher and higher for the season. They've gotten more views, whereas Vanderpump Rules has lost views from week over week.
Donna.
I mean, you're not even watching it. Do you know anybody that's watching it and enjoying the show?
I'm just more interested in the comments. Mike is asking why you guys are covering up your signs. What's the point of having signs if you're covering it up? And I kind of agree. That's more interesting than Vanderpump Rules.
Do you not know what the sign says?
No, it says no tur. No tur, and don't let it.
It's like decoration. It's not meant to be like
just
in the
decoration. Oh, are you mad that you can't see the full
like
plan? Are you mad that you can't? He tried to do that the other day, and I got mad at him because then he wasn't center frame.
You have to do your whole show like this.
Are you mad that you can't read the YouTube sign behind me? You can't tell how many viewers you want. Would you like me to zoom in on the YouTube?
No, that looks
so
good. That looks good.
Could do a little plant here, though. Do a little plant here.
Let me adjust my Spotify logo.
My God, you're so label heavy. What's next? A Lisa Barlow Gucci box behind you?
Anyway, I got 10 minutes before I got to go. What about Beverly Hills? What are we thinking?
I actually am enjoying Beverly Hills this season. I know you don't like it, Stu. I'm enjoying it. I like Rachel Zoe. I love Erica this season. I'm glad that Kyle's finally at least being honest about being a lesbian, even though it's like really annoying.
Yeah. She's not being honest.
I mean, it's close to what we're going to get.
It's it's the best we're going to get. You're over her, Donna? Why?
Yeah. I'm way over Kyle right now. I found yesterday to be incredibly frustrating. I'm like, you've made it over the hump. Like you came out already, basically. You came out last week, and now say it with your whole chest. Just tell Bose. Don't make Bose fish around and make her look like she is this gossip, like annoying picker. And Kyle's sitting there like, what do you mean?
Why don't you tell me what you really want to ask me?
Why don't you just tell me what you really want? Making Bose look like this weird, nosy, annoying friend. Why don't you just say, like, why don't you open up to Bose for once, Kyle, and say, listen, Bose, I'm just going to be honest with you and Rachel. I fell in love with a woman. It was really uncomfortable for me. It made me really uncomfortable. My kids and I had to have a conversation about it. I have never thought I was going to be into a woman, but I fell in love with a person. The gender didn't matter. She did say all of that, but she made Bose fish for it. It was so shitty.
Yeah.
I think Kyle needs to get over herself, and then the fade to black during the confessionals. She's like, I went through something very tragic. Fade to black. It was a really hard time. Fade to black. She's in the best possible separation you could possibly be in.
I don't like that she was
friends with her ex.
I don't like that she wasn't, like, she was kind of being shitty towards Mauricio now in retrospect by dragging him for dating other women publicly when she was doing it with Morgan Wade, number one. And number two, I thought now in comparison, and these are words I never in my life thought I would say, but I actually, kind of feel for Garcelle, because last season, Garcelle was out here trying to be like, we can't say Morgan's name. You brought her on the show. And Kyle was like, no, don't ask about her. Don't talk about her. Don't even mention her. Don't even look at her. And then now she's just like, Bose, why aren't you asking me about Morgan Wade? Like, she's basically like, Bose, why are you not doing what Garcelle was doing last season when I got mad at Garcelle? What Garcelle did was still fucked up, because it does appear that Kyle told Garcelle and Sutton off camera, like, hey, this is the situation. This is why I don't want you to bring it up. Like, it's obvious Dorit and Erica knew the details as well, but they didn't push it because they knew the details off camera. And it seems like Kyle tried to do the same with Sutton and Garcelle, but Garcelle kept trying to bring it up on camera on purpose. So I understand why Bose coming into this season is kind of like, well, I'm not going to ask about it because you were super secretive of it before. And like, I want to, tiptoe around you.
Why are you over the season, Stu? I think it's a phenomenal season, but I think Erica and Kyle need to go. Sorry.
Okay, like,
I love Erica, and I think she's great this season. I stand by that.
I mean, first of all, like, let's relax with the words. Like, phenomenal, like, girl. It's not phenomenal. Like, it's fine so far. I think
it's the biggest new Bravo show launch of the year.
I think Bose is trying to be like the Heather Gay, like to try and like kind of produce the thing. She's like always coming out saying things. She's doing a bit too much for me.
Who is?
Bose. Yeah, it's a bit like,
I love Bose.
it's like she's running the show, kind of like it's a bit too much. I don't know.
No, she's like, these bitches aren't saying anything, so I'm just gonna ask these questions so that her and Rachel Zoe are so unseasoned as reality stars that they're just saying shit that's shocking the other women.
I fucking love Rachel Zoe too.
Like I love listening to Rachel Zoe and stuff. And then I liked the conversation with Sutton, and she's like, "Well, you're not married to him anymore. Like, get rid of the fucking name." But it's like it's getting there. I just need a bit of like a pop. Like I need a bit of anger.
But I like that it's light. I like that it's not dramatic yet. I like that it's not like dragging people through the mud and doing all this.
Sure.
I think Kyle is literally, I'm sorry, Kyle really triggered me this week because I feel like we're giving her a pass for 3 seasons now. And if her main storyline is this like this elusive love affair about this person that she won't share, we already know, but she's still not sharing it, and that she's going to plan her daughter's wedding. I could literally fall off a cliff. It's so boring. And meanwhile, speaking of falling off a cliff, Erica has nothing to bring to the table. I know she's your girl, Zach. I know she's your girl, but so she has nothing to bring to the table.
It's very soft. The whole thing is. I mean, I was surprised. I was surprised. I didn't see you last night, Donna, on the speed dating. I thought you were.
Oh my God, those are my 2 friends, Matt Belinsky and Ben Glebe. I went to high school with them.
She just missed the joke.
Oh, why? Because I should be dating?
Because remember we were saying like, when is your? Remember we keep giving you shit about your divorce. You're like, I'm not getting divorced.
Oh no, Lance and I were watching the episode together.
What wasn't her cheating?
No, oh God, no. Lance and I were watching the episode together, but Matt Belinsky, he was the guy that he was like kind of the douchey one who Zach thinks is hot. And sorry. And he's the attorney. And then Ben Glebe is the comedian. Both really, really great guys. Ben was my sister's year, I want to say. So he was 2 years older than me, but I went to high school with Ron, his younger brother. And Matt Belinsky is so fun. I love Matt. They're both really, really great guys. I don't know who the rest of the guys were, but Dorit was horny. Dorit wanted to fuck.
Yeah. I think Dorit is the star of the show right now. Like Kyle's not giving us much. I understand Erica's kind of treading lightly, but like Erica still gives us fashion. Erica's still giving, like, we're starting to get into her dating this new guy. Like she's open about her legal issues more now. So we're going to get more into like the trial that's coming up. We're getting into Tom, being sentenced to prison. So she's giving us something. Dorit, I think, is giving us the most. Bose and Rachel Zoe, I think, are really fun and fresh. I'm curious to see what Amanda's going to bring. I like her already. I'm reserving judgment, but I like her already.
She's going to piss people off for sure, I think.
Yeah. So my first inclination was to hate Amanda because I found her to be like a try hard, like a pick me a little bit first episode. And then this episode, I also found myself like not liking her because I feel like they're trying to make us not like her as a villain. Like they're producing her for us to be like, she's obnoxious, But I went to her Instagram. She has so many mutual friends with me, like real life friends, and people really respect her in this space in like real life. And her advice is actually really good. And then I went into messages because I started following her, and I just went into messages to send her a DM. And I've DM'd with her many times back in like 2019 and 20, back and forth. So I used to follow her, totally forgetting that I did, when I was into the coaching stuff, like back in when I was looking into like bettering myself as a human being, because I'm into money manifestation, shockingly. And I think actually it works. Zach, you were kind of into this stuff too.
Yeah,
I do it all the time. I quantum leap, I manifest, I do all the shit.
So they kind of made fun of her with her one line that they showed of what her advice was for Dorit about like making money and stuff. They showed one line of advice. I'm sure she gave some better advice. She clearly has a very successful coaching career. And I like spent some time on deep diving her on her Instagram. Also, her one line that she made last week about 100% being the parents to her stepkids really triggered a lot of moms. Yeah. But I did a deep dive today. She and the mother of her 2 older kids, her stepkids, are tight, thick as thieves. And her stepkid's mother like supports the crap out of her
Yeah.
saying that and loves that she said that. And that's really what matters.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
who are we to judge their parenting situation? That's kind of cool that she's able to say they're 100% my kids. I treat them like my own if their own mom likes it. Right?
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Do you think Dorit went home that night and pulled out her
Vibrator?
little toy?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Dorit needs to be getting it. She looks great and like she knows how to flirt.
does
Like
look
I
good.
like single Dorit. I wish Erica had more game. I'm not surprised by Kyle. And Sutton is just a lost cause.
Kyle was
I
like
love you,
Are we-
texting
Donna. I have to
Morgan in the
pop off.
bathroom. Okay, Stu's
I
got to go.
I have to go.
All right,
I'm
Stu's gotta go.
recording right now. Talk to
Okay,
you
bye,
guys soon.
Stu.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
I love you, Donna. I thought Beverly Hills was bringing it this season.
I am loving the show. Stu's takes on Beverly Hills are he has like a thing against it. I don't know.
Stu loves to hate
elitist?
everything.
He only likes Katie from OC. That's like the only thing that we can get him to say that he likes.
He rides for Katie, and he kind of likes Salt Lake City now. I don't know. I'm not watching. Are you watching Salt
He
Lake?
only likes Jeff Lewis.
Are you watching Salt Lake this season?
Yeah. It's good. It feels a little too overproduced.
Why? Salt Lake City. I feel like they're just trying too hard. There are too many bits. I haven't really watched it. I haven't watched it. Beverly Hills is the only one I'm interested in. I watched the first episode of Vanderpump Rules, but I'm not going to continue watching it. And then I don't know. I'm just blah blah blah. Oh,
so
I will say Sutton's fashion game is pretty solid.
She's
season.
looking phenomenal this season. Whoever's doing her hair, makeup, everything, she looks great. So on my show today, Zach, I'm going to plug it really fast. I have Irving Berlin's great grandson, I believe, or grandson. I have to check exactly. He went viral yesterday with a reel because he is like of Hollywood fame. He's like a descendant of Hollywood fame, and he spiraled into major, major, major addiction. And now he's sober. And he's talking about Nick Reiner because I believe it's his aunt's best friend's sister was Michelle Reiner. And so he's also very connected to that. And he's coming back at these people that are like, stop judging Nick for what he did. We shouldn't judge mental illness because, you and I are getting a little bit of that kind of reaction from people that are getting mad at us for how dare you judge someone that's mentally ill.
I mean, I get that. And I hear that of like, don't judge people that are struggling with mental illness. But like, there's a difference between mental illness and then consequences for your actions that include murdering somebody in cold blood, more than one person.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I understand that there's nuance in that, but wrong is still wrong and murder is still murder unless it's in self-defense. And I don't believe that this happened in self-defense. I think you can't just give somebody a pass because, they have mental health issues. Like, but it's still wrong what they did and they still need to be held accountable for their actions.
I just think, it's very tough when people like you and I do this for a living, right? We cover stories that will always tend to upset and trigger certain people. And as someone that is triggered by a lot of topics, hello, Candace Owens, she triggered me so much this year when she started to really blame everything on Israel and everything on the Jews. And I got very, very offended by it, which is why, remember, my whole cancellation of being a dictator, circa September or whatever month that was. Dictator Donna. LOL. But the whole thing is we have to put ourselves in check sometimes as consumers of these content of content, because a lot of my listeners and your listeners are dealing with mental health in our families, are dealing with drug addiction in our families. And sometimes we have to like force ourselves to remove our personal experiences from the conversation.
Yeah.
And understand that like, when you're talking about it, when I'm talking about it, we're commentating on it. I'm not the news. I don't consider myself the news. I'm not. Don't come to me for news. Come to me for commentary. Like, I'm allowed to commentate on it. And so people get mad when I talk about it and give my personal spin on it. How dare you? Yesterday, I got that comment saying Nick should sue you for sharing these opinions.
Which is wild to me. I mean, it's like you can't just give somebody a pass because they're struggling with mental illness. There needs to be accountability. Look at the situation with that woman on the bus, Irina Zarutska, who was stabbed in the neck by the man who came up right behind her unprovoked, just stabbed her in the neck. And you find out how many times he had been released from prison, or after he'd been arrested, and
Like
he
30
had
or
a
something
history.
crazy.
Yeah, he had a history of, violent behavior. And just because, there are people that want to give, special preferential treatment because they have mental illness or they're struggling, but then you're still allowing somebody, you're not addressing the problem, you're allowing them to continue to engage in that behavior by enabling them or by allowing them to get a pass because they have mental illness, rather than addressing the root cause of the issue, which doesn't help anybody at the end of the day. It doesn't help them, it doesn't help any of the victims, and it could lead to very serious consequences. So you can be compassionate, you can have empathy, but that doesn't mean that you absolve any sort of accountability.
Especially because he was not in a family or in a situation where he was hung out to dry when he got himself in the mess in his teens or in his 20s. He was given so much love and so much care. And if this is true, what TMZ is saying, where he was in a facility that was he was in an outpatient facility and in treatment that cost $70,000 a month. You literally cannot find more expensive treatment out there.
Yeah.
What else could he have been given? And yet he still was able to do this. And within hours walked and was able mentally enough to check himself into a hotel and mentally sane enough to get downtown to God knows what, buy more pot, weed, whatever. I mean, he was sane enough to do some things. It's not like he couldn't function.
Right.
He understood how to get himself from place to place.
Yeah,
He understood to shower.
And again, it wasn't like this appeared to have been a heat of the moment argument that was a heat, like what do they call it? A crime of passion, where you're so in the moment that when they have women that are snapped and murder their husbands, that's a heat of passion type of crime because you're so caught up in the moment and you're not thinking clearly. Whereas in this case, based off of the timeline that we have, it does appear that there was some premeditation. It does appear that there was some foresight and some thought and some intention behind it. They were in their bed asleep when he chose to go in and murder them. It was completely unprovoked.
It's not like they were in the kitchen, and then he opened the drawer and it's not like they were coming at him and yelling at him and saying, get out of the house. And then, it's almost like the Menendez brothers situation and the fact that they were just sitting in the family room watching a movie or whatever they were watching. They chose to come into a quiet situation and attack. It's a very, very interesting. I mean, I'm very curious to know what was happening in that conversation the night before. Obviously, more will come to light.
Yeah.
I'm also curious what weapon he used. What kind of knife was this? Where did he receive it? Where did he get it? Did he buy it, or was it like a kitchen knife? I don't know. I heard from the FBI detective that usually in these cases, when you do such a tragic, horrendous kind of a murder with a knife, you need one of those that has. I'm not like a genius when it comes to stabbing, but they have a shaft it has a stopper so that your hand doesn't slip. And so it's very specific for these kinds of stabbing, so that like a kitchen knife doesn't have a stopper for your fist, for your hand, but a knife that you would use to specifically.
Oh, you would need something that has a stopper.
That it would stop your hand, because you're going so into a very tough, I don't know what it's called, but that is interesting.
Yeah.
A K-bar knife? I don't know. So this is a hunting knife. Yeah, it would be
Oh,
something very
yeah.
specific. So that would be also something to look in. Who knows if they'll find the knife?
Yeah.
A hilt. That's the word. That's what it was. A hilt. A cross guard. Oh, everyone has words. Who knows? But
Yeah.
there's more to be seen. And we're not coming at it with like not compassion, but also let's have compassion for the victims.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And the family.
Huh.
Like
Yeah.
Romy, who is now going to forever be traumatized for having to walk in and see her father slayed in a bed, knowing that it was now at the hands of her own brother.
And like I just keep thinking it's not a small house. It's not like she
Yeah.
just walked into a 1,200 square foot house that you just like walk through the front door and go through a small hall and to the bed. It's probably like a 10,000 square foot house, right? So like she had to walk through the main foyer and these massive homes and then like walk through the main thing and then go up the big stairs and then go through the main hall and then go to think about that journey for her.
Yeah.
It's so awful.
He said, so stab more than just the slitting. Yeah. But yeah, the coroner's report said that there were multiple stab wounds.
I'm sure they tried to fight back at some point. You don't just
maybe
lay
the
there.
mom did. Well, I
Someone
think the
did.
dad. I think the dad may have. Like, I think that was an easy, I mean, but also if you're slitting their throats, you know what you're doing, and you know that it's a kill shot. It's not just a heat of the moment, just like going in and it's not an attack. It's a deliberate forethought. You're going right where you know is likely to end their life.
But I don't know how fast that takes effect for someone who's a victim of that. Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't think it's instant. I mean, it depends on how deep of a puncture, but
it
like
probably was pretty deep because they didn't fight back. Like they were sleeping, so you're vulnerable.
He didn't, but it seems the mom was not like in the bed at the time that Romy found her. So I'm assuming maybe she was on the floor. Maybe she tried to get up, maybe she tried to stop him. Yeah, tried to get away. Something. I couldn't even imagine. But
guys,
again,
so
if he's
tragic.
going in and it's just so much of it is heartbreaking because there is a lot of what appears to be thought that went into this. Special
Yeah.
case says, I'm waiting for the trial and more info. You don't need to wait for the trial and more info to know that these people were brutally murdered by their son, who clearly did this with, premeditation.
Helty says, is the legal process just to decide whether he goes to jail or a mental health facility? The truth is, I think, it's we're going to find out how he pleads. So first the arraignment is the pleading, correct? And then once we find out how he pleads, then you find out next steps. So then they have to go through jury selection. And that will be an interesting find because this is such a high profile case. So it's just like the OJ. It's going to be like a tough find to find a jury. Once you find the
bigger
jury,
than OJ.
I think so too. Once you find the jury, then you go through the process of the trial. And even if he pled guilty, you still have to go through the process of the
sentencing.
The sentencing.
Well, in this case, the theory is he's going to, even if you plead guilty or not guilty, that doesn't matter because the prosecution still has to lay out their case unless there's a plea deal.
No, because look at Kohberger. Kohberger, he pled guilty before the trial even started, and then it was just done.
Right, because that's a plea deal. So when you take a plea deal, there's no trial because the prosecution and the defense come to an agreement. You're saying, I'll plead guilty, and these are the terms of, your sent or whatever the terms are of the deal that they make. But when you, I mean, I guess then if you plead guilty, then you're assuming that you're taking some sort of deal and taking accountability, whereas not guilty. But I guess my thing is there's different types of not guilty. There's not guilty because I'm innocent, and whereas in this case, it seems like it's not guilty because they're going to go with this insanity defense. I don't know if they're going to be able to prove that though. I think there's a little too many details that we already know so far. They're going to prove that this was premeditated, and that's why I think Nathan Hockman came out strong with the first degree conviction or charge.
We're also going to be finding out like what Special K is saying. I didn't mean that, Zach, and this is important. She's like, I just want to know more information about everything when I say I'm looking for the trial, because I actually do too. I want to know what was Nick doing on December 13th, on December 12th. Was he hanging out with friends? Was he going to coffee shops? Was he driving? Was he hanging out at a bar? Like, how sane was he in those days leading up to it. Because if they're literally saying that he wasn't able to leave his house unless he was under the presence of his mom and dad or with a guardian every minute of, then maybe we can go with that insanity defense. But if they like let him do his thing and he was going out and he was socializing or whatever, then you're losing us a little bit with this insanity defense.
Yeah, the days leading up. I mean, but then you have all the accounts of them saying that they were petrified of him. They didn't want to leave him alone.
Who's saying
And
that
you
though?
hear-
These are just random sources.
Right. These are just random sources who will now have to come to the surface and will likely have to testify at trial once, we get to that point.
Yeah.
We'll have
I mean,
to
that's
see
why it's very fascinating to know the whereabouts of Nick. What was Nick Reiner's life like in the month of December prior to this, in the month of November? We're going to have to hear from the facilities that medicated him. I want to know, I'm curious, what was he taking?
Well, they also claim that the TMZ also said that he was drinking or abusing substances while on the medication, which obviously would affect the efficacy of the medication and affect his state of mind.
And people are saying, like, why did they take him to Conan O'Brien's party knowing that he was this way? Because they wanted him close to their eyes. They wanted him, like, we're not missing our party, so you're coming with us so we can make sure you're safe. What a tragic error they made in that moment, because it triggered this probably violent outburst, which made him embarrassed, I would imagine, which then elevated it all.
Would create some resentment and some retaliation. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm just saying it triggered this violent
I think
outburst.
they did everything they could. And if I could, analyze it with the details that we have, I would think it was like a come to the party to get out. I mean, we don't want to leave you alone, but we also think it may be good for you to be out and around other people and socialize and it's a Christmas party, right? So it's like, or a holiday party. So it's like a fun, festive, environment. And it appears.
You also could be in a lot of denial as a parent. Think about it, you guys. We as parents tend to hope and pray that our kids are healthy. And I'm not saying it, but he could have been also very manipulative. Look, there was one, and then we can wrap because this is the longest episode ever. But there was one video I saw yesterday where Rob Reiner said, "I wish I would have listened more to my kid than the medical doctors with the degrees on the wall."
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating because this person that was sharing it said, "I really wish he never listened to his kid and listened to the people with the degrees on the wall, because the kid manipulated him and made him think, I know more than the doctors." But the kid is an addict. The kid is the addict with the mental illness, and they are the best manipulators. The addict can manipulate you forever. They can always get you to believe them because they're just dying to get their next,
Well, this is an interesting point. Christina said she heard Nick on an old podcast talk about his ADD. He said that he just wanted to smoke and take pills, but couldn't do that and be homeless in Maine. So it seems like if your retelling of what he said, your paraphrasing is correct, then it sounds to me like he knew that being homeless would not be able to afford him this drug abusive lifestyle that he liked to engage in. And so therefore he could live with his parents, like you said, Donna, maybe manipulate his parents and then be able to do his drugs on the side, but at least not be homeless and be in an environment where he can pretend he's taking it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you have your show that's coming up in just a little bit. You are going to be, I assume, continuing this conversation.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to talk to a former addict who came from, the Hollywood line, the heir of Hollywood royalty, basically.
Go
just to
check
get into
out
his head. Daily
Dose of Donna. You can subscribe to her on YouTube. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. I know you're always giving updates on the case, on all the cases, from Tara Reid to Reiner to Blake Lively.
And I'm also going to talk more about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills today because, God, that thing.
I know you're going to go off on Kyle Richards. Did you like my Candace Owens rant?
Oh, thank God, finally. Did you
Yeah,
watch
like
Ben
you've seen the
Shapiro
light.
speak yesterday? Oh,
I
you sent it to
did.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
was good.
It was interesting. I was like, what? How are Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes making sense about Candace Owens? Like, what warped timeline have we ended up on?
Wild.
Wild. All right. Thank you, Don, for coming on. Guys, give Stu a follow. Check him out. His podcast is called Don't Let It Stew. He has Jamie Rice on this week. So be sure to tune into that. And then I will talk to you guys next week on Monday. Have a good weekend. Have, if you're celebrating Hanukkah, then enjoy the rest of your festivities this week. And I will talk to you guys on Monday. Be sure to sign up for No Filter All Access if you want ad-free episodes, bonus episodes, and members-only Zooms. We do them once, in some cases twice a month if you're part of book club. So be sure to sign up for No Filter All Access there. And I will talk to you guys on Monday. Bye, guys.
Bye.